Hello everyone, this is the great Lord and Master, Osiron, the Eternal. I'm trying out a new do on camera today. I just like to do that to see how, because I have to go out in public like this sometimes. And this hair of mine is a fucking extremely high maintenance endeavor. I know some people are thinking the man bun, oh he's got a man bun, what a faggot. But keep in mind, fucking, the man bun, is something that is, it's popular now to blast people for having it. But, you gotta remember, fucking, the man bun, some pretty badass people have man buns. Lord Shiva not only has a man bun, but he has a fucking beehive. And you can't forget about the great Pai Mei, who has a man bun. I think one of the reasons they say that is because they really don't want men to grow their hair out. Because, once you grow your hair longer, there's a strong possibility you're going to understand that there's powers that come with that. Now, not everybody's going to walk into that, because if you're ignorant, just growing your hair isn't going to unlock these powers by themselves, but in conjunction with a lot of other activities, you gotta recognize there is an inherent power that comes with having longer hair. And the ancients knew that. But anyway, the topic of this video is, I'm back on the dry erase board here, and what we have here is a new structure. It's sort of sort of what happens to the tree of the great Lord. You know how when you combine the true tree and the jewel, you get the tree of the great Lord? Well, this is the upper part of that tree. And I wasn't going to, as far as I was concerned, I was finished with this series, Tower of the True Tree of Life. But then somebody on my Facebook posted something, and I'll show you that in a minute, and that really ignited this. They posted this structure here, because this is sort of the most efficient use of the spheres in the flower of life pattern, because all of this comes from the flower of life pattern. I mean, the tree of life, it's just geometry, and this is the most efficient, compact way to maximize that space. And then when you apply the single numbers 0 through 9 to that, what it does is absolutely amazing. And I wasn't going to even make a video on this just because I didn't think this alone was enough to warrant a video. But what happens when you turn this, because this is the 2D version of it, and when you turn this into 3D, something magical happens, and it changed my mind completely and made it so I had to make a video about this. But anyway, so here it is. Here's the structure over here. This is in 2D form, and you should notice right away that it looks like two cubes. So, but the person who posted this online used the same old numbering pattern of 1 through 10, which is toxic, which is basically two things. It's an incomplete version of the code, and then the 0 is basically putting 0 on the end. It's putting 1 before 0 is exactly what that does, and I've explained this to death. Alright, but anyway, we got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Bam. It fits right in there. And what happens with that is, you can see, when you add up this pillar, it becomes 12 and then reduces to 3. This side adds up to 15, the devil card, which reduces to 6, and this card would have been the hanged man. And then the middle pillar breaks right down to 0, 3, 6, 9, adds up to 18, and then reduces to 9. Again, 18 is a moon card, it's Kundalini and all the elements, all the numbers now. If you watch this series of, it's got to be like, in total, it's probably got to be 27 or more videos. In the series, it's not going to show all that, because some of the videos I fused together, some of them I got rid of, but the complete unedited series has got to be close to 27 to 30 videos, including the Proof of God series, which is very important to watch. But now, with that, what you're going to see is then when you add up these cross numbers here, 2, 1 equals 3, 5, 4, 9, and then 8 plus 7 is 6, and again you got the 3, 9, and the 6. And this separates itself according to Vortex math, the principle and the rule of Vortex math, which, I can't think of the names, Mark Rodin and the other guy who do the presentations, they say that 3 and 6 is always separated by 9. Well, this follows that rule because 9 is right in the dead center of both of these, separated by 3 and 6. And what really caught my eye about this structure and made me really start to examine it, because I probably wouldn't have examined it if it wasn't for this one little fact. You see in the middle here how it forms a diamond, and the diamond is broken down into 8 segments. Well, if you recall from the tree of the Great Lord, or the tree that's fused, the true tree and the jewel combined, when you do that, this sphere becomes an 8, this one becomes an 8, and the line in the middle is actually comprised of 3 tarot cards. On the true tree, it's Atu 8, strength. But on the jewel of creation, it's the hermit 9. But when you combine 9 plus 8, it becomes Atu 17, the star, which reduces to 8 again. So this line is an 8 line. You got 8 here, and then you have an 8 line right here in the middle. And then when you see in the picture I show you, all these spheres connected to every other one, and the way they did it, it turned this to a circle, and it was broken down into 8 like that. But so you got the 8 here, and then the 8 line in the middle. And then when you connect all these lines, it forms an 8 circle in the thing. And I'll show you that right now, as a matter of fact, just so you can get an idea what's going on. I'm trying to have this cued. Yeah, here's the structure that the person showed me. Yeah, they used a 10, 1 through 10, but again, that's BS. But you see how in the middle it forms that 8, that wheel of 8 spokes? That's why. That's what triggered my mind to do this. And then I'll show you just again quickly the tree of the Great Lord. See that? See how in the middle the 8s, you got the 8s and like that, and you see, but right there, focus on those 8s. That is that's what triggered the line of thought. That's what triggered the line of thought to start doing this. But one of the reasons why I wasn't going to make a video about this is because in 2D, as you can see, it's perfect. And even, I'll get to that in a second, but in 3D, I wasn't happy with how it was coming out, right? Because in 3D, which you see over here, and I'll explain that in a second, in 3D, what happens, see, in 2D, 0 through 9 complete everything else. But if you remember from the video that I made with the Nordic Yggdrasil, in 3D, what you do is you put 2 numbers in these 2 because you're turning it into cubes. There's a hidden sphere behind here and here, so you put 2 numbers in here and do that. And I wasn't happy with what I was getting because I tried it using 0 through 11 and then 1 through 12, and it just was never really perfect. I even told a friend of mine that. I was like, yeah, the 2D version's perfect, but the 3D version isn't perfect. I'm not happy with it. So when analyzing it a couple of days ago, I noticed something. Like if you write this out if you do it using 0 through 11, and you add up this pillar and this pillar and this pillar, this becomes 9, or 18 and 9. This becomes 33, and this side becomes 15. And you're going to notice that both of those numbers, 33 and 15, reduced to 6. So I was like, wait a minute, something's really, really, really... that's just too much of a coincidence. Like it's sort of like the jewel of creation, how that became 666. That's too perfect. There's more to the story. It caused me to dig. But then if you did it, 1 through 12, it would come to 39 and then 21, which reduces to 3. So then I started playing with it. I was like, wait a minute, now it came alive. So what happens now is, what this does is, it actually uses both number systems. It uses 0 through 11 in one, and then it uses 1 through 12 in the other. And then let me go over this with you. Okay. This starts here. In the blue, it's going down. In the red, it's going up. Okay? So you got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay? And then after that completes, goes back up from the bottom up. Okay? So now we got 1. Just making sure you can see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, now, what happens when you do that and you combine both of those together, the numbers of the spheres together, what you get is that every single one of these spheres turns into 12. Directly, too. There is no fucking around with it. It turns, every single one of them turns to 12. Every sphere here, when you combine those numbers, turns to 12. And then, of course, 12. And then when you view this, you see over here I got it broken into 4 pillars. Well, in the cube form, that's what it's doing. So every pillar becomes 36. Every pillar is a 36, a 3 and a 6. Every of the 4 pillars. And 36 times 4 is 144. 12 times 12. This is sort of like the redemption of 12. This is, aside from the zodiac, this is showing you how 9 and 12 are so powerfully linked, and why 12 is a divine measurement. Because if you recall from Proof of God, that every 12 spaces on Fibonacci from 0 to infinity reduces to 9. And this is showing you that, and then every multiple of 12, it will only ever be a 3, 6, or a 9. So this is what this is doing. And then you see how, I got to change. And then, one of the things about the false tree, the so-called tree of life, is they, use the flaming sword pattern. Well, you can see when you construct this, the flaming sword pattern, it doesn't show up anywhere at all. It follows the basic rule of nature, going from 0 to feminine first, then masculine, and it goes down, doing the opposite of the flaming sword. And then when you build it from the ground up, it still follows a rule of, this time it's going to the masculine first, but it's following the same line that it came down. So it goes up in the opposite direction, and it stays on the same path, creating a spiraling thing I drew here. You also notice, on this pillar, these numbers above the pillars are what the numbers add to and then reduce to. So the blue is the blue and the red is the red, obviously. But the blue reduces on this pillar, becomes 15, and the red becomes 21. But when you reduce that, it flips to its opposite. It flips to its opposite of 6 and then 3, and then same thing up here. 33 becomes 6, and then 39 becomes 3. So it's flipping. This side, what would be again on the pillar of the masculine here, the numbers never change. It's the same numbers. This pillar never changes, and this is becomes 18 and reduces it to 9. So that's interesting too. So on every structure, the masculine pillar never changes. It's always fixed. It's funny how that is. But now I just want to get back to this a little bit. This is perfect in a lot of ways. The 2D version is perfect too, because every one of its opposites reduces to 9. And I'll start from 0. This is sort of like the Yggdrasil, how all the corners produce their opposites. Because that structure is still divine and perfect, but this is divine and perfect equally so. We got 0 up here in the top, and its very opposite is only this. Remember, in 2D form. You got 0 up here, and its opposite is 9. You got 1 up here, and its extreme opposite is 8. You got 2 over here, its extreme opposite is 7. You got 3, now we're getting in the middle here. You got 3, its opposite is 6, and you got 4, its opposite is 5, down in here. Now, there's one thing you're going to notice. This also produces its mirror image, okay? Up here you got 1 and 2, and then down here you got 7 and 8. Well, when you take the 1 and 2 and you add a 6 to either one of those numbers, 6 plus 1 is 7, and then 6 plus 2 is 8, and 8. And then here you got 3, 7 plus 3 is 10, which is 1, and then 8 plus 3 is 11, which becomes 2. So the 3 and the 6 produce a mirror image when you add them to the other side. So it's just, what happens with the numbers is just amazing and glorious. And also in its 2D form, in the middle we got the Kundalini line, 0, 3, 6, 9, and then on either side it breaks down into the material numbers. You know, in this case 1 would be the material. Remember, 1 can be both. You know, 1 is any individual thing, it doesn't matter what it is. That's why 1 is so powerful. 1 is just a 1, that's it. So we got 1, 4, 7, then 2, 5, 8 over here for that. So this is the double cube, this is the title of it, the double cube of Lord Osiron, the divinity of 12, the pillars of beauty and truth. This started out as a little thing, a thing that somebody posted on Facebook that sort of fits in with the theme of the Tree of Life geometry, because remember, and it also shows you how the Jews are just, with their perversion of occultism, they just completely, see, they're completely representing the occult world in a bogus manner. And you know, as I've explained in earlier videos in the series, and one of the best ones to watch, because there's so many videos in there, you might get lost, but one of the best videos to watch about the actual perversion of the numbers and what it really does is the nature of human discord. Because I get into what happens when you use the toxic math in conjunction with these structures. But that should be it. There's a ton more. I mean, there's a shit ton more, but I don't want this video to be too long. So this is it. The double cube of Lord Osiron, the divinity of 12, the pillars of beauty and truth. There's the pillars. There's the 144, and we all know 140. I mean, you should know that 144 is a powerful number. You know, when you times that by 1,000, you know, there's Bible passages that talk about 144,000 and all these things. You know, you have to know that's no coincidence. Anytime you start throwing around 144, and remember, 144 is just a breakdown of Kundalini and the elements. You got 1 for Kundalini, and you got a 4 for each elemental aspect of the elements. You know, 1 and then the female version of the elements, and then the male version of the elements. Combine those together, you get 8. Add Kundalini to that, the divine power, the unknowable divine power, you get 9. The stillness of 9 in this. So that is it, and thank you for watching. And now this, I know I say this every time, but this has to be the end of the series now, aside from polishing. But thank you for watching, and namaste.